Hello and welcome to another edition of Backyard Farmer. I'm Kim Todd and I'll be your host for the next hour of good gardening. Give us a call with your questions at 1-800-676-5446. We also take those pictures and emails for future shows, byf@unl.edu. Please give us as much information as you can, including where you live. That does make a difference. And after the show, we do invite you to check out our exclusive content on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. So let's get some samples started. And yes, we've had so many questions, Wayne, so we're very glad you brought that in.
Yes, so I brought in an Aster that has this dead bottom and an okay looking top, but when you get into it real close, it's got stippling on the leaves, so it's got that more whitish appearance. And our extension office up in Norfolk has this problem every year with lacebugs. They have that piercing, sucking mouth part, so that's what that stippling is from, as they stick that mouth part in and have lunch on the plant. This particular one, as you can see, doesn't have any of the lacebugs running around on it, otherwise I'd be trying to point them out. So this one has some hope. They are susceptible to our pyrethroids, so it would be an easy treatment if your asters are looking rather nasty, like this particular one right here.
So when you say spray, you mean way before it looks like that?
Yeah, hopefully you're paying enough attention that you catch it when it's working on down here and not grown out of the particular problem.
All right, thanks, Wayne. Okay, Jeff.
Okay. So I brought some black nightshade. So this particular plant is pretty common. I had a call earlier today from a friend who has it in a pasture, and he was just wondering what he should do. And so this is one, especially at this stage with the green fruit, when it's in particular more poisonous at this stage. So, and all parts of it is poisonous. So it's not good for us, it's not good for our dogs, it's not good for livestock. It's something that you'd want to either destroy, you know, mow it, something like that, and then follow up with some pre-emergent herbicide in those locations for the next couple of years, just to make sure that we kind of get rid of this plant.
So it's annual.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know we've seen some around, actually in some of our gardens, that is 3 feet tall already.
Right.
It sort of hides places.
Yeah, it's one of those plants, because it's in the family with eggplant and a lot of other things, I think sometimes we think, oh, this might be something that I want, so.
Don't eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, what is that?
Well, the it kind of looks like dog droppings a little bit, but these are only exclusively found under an ash tree. And so this is the ash tree bolete, not a true bolete, but the scientific name is Boletinellus muraloides. But these things, only show up underneath ash trees. And I apologize, I'm distracted. Earlier today, I cracked this open, and a spider is now crawling around our table. But the ash tree boletes, so on the top, they're not very impressive. The underside of them has some really cool patterns where the gills are. But then one of the things about these that is diagnostic is you can split them open, and they're very, very fleshy on the inside. But if you push on it, it will bruise blue. And here I have another one, there we go, that about 30 seconds before we went on air, I split it open and pushed on it, and you can see just how it turned blue. Only found under ash trees. Nothing to worry about. They're a sign that you have leaf curl ash aphid, but there are worse insect issues with ash trees at the moment. So just one of those things you'll have to deal with. If you want to get rid of them, I hear golf clubs work the best.
All right, thanks. Okay, Dana, what is that? Besides tomatoes.
It's exactly what you think it is. These are green tomatoes. And there's lots of folks out there wondering why they've got plants full of these, why they're not red or ripening. And it's a common problem we have this time of year when the temperatures are hot for an extended period of time like we've had. And that's because tomatoes ripen best between temperatures of 70 to 85 degrees during the daytime. And if it's too hot, above 90 during the day or 70 at night, they kind of stall out and you get this yellowish green fruit. And that's because it slows down the production of the pigments lycopene and carotene that turn your plant or your fruit the really nice color. So there's not a lot you can do, but be patient. And when it cools down, you still might get a BLT someday.
Excellent. Or you can do fried green tomatoes.
Fried green tomatoes.
All right, thanks. First round of questions. Wayne, where did that spider go? Oh, there he is.
Crab spider, by the way.
Yes, the crab spider.
Yeah.
This is an Arlington viewer. She found this on her sage plant and is curious about what is it, good, bad, or ugly?
Grapevine beetle does not like sage, would much rather be on a grapevine, and usually they're not a big problem unless you have lots of them. So one here or there, not a problem.
All right. This is an Albion, Nebraska viewer and wonders what this insect is. It's a bug she found on her cucumbers, friend or foe?
If there were lots of them, I would say foe. This is a twice stabbed stink bug, and you can tell it's a twice stabbed because towards the back end there are those two reddish pinkish dots, and that's how you tell that this is a twice stabbed stink bug. If it's just one, pinch it off, and you don't have to worry about it. But yes, it will. It's a minor pest when it comes to stink bug.
So twice stabbed, but something stabbed it. It's not stabbing twice.
No, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right,
It's got those
interesting
two
bug
red
names.
marks. It looks like it got stabbed twice.
Okay. This is a Lincoln viewer. She says these are on her Rudbeckia all over. The plant is suffering. What does she do?
Well, these are Gorgone Checkerspots. Every year we get questions about these devastating somebody's coneflowers, and really they'll be gone before too long, and enjoy the show. They'll turn into some fun butterflies.
Exactly. Just sacrifice a plant. All right. Let's see, Jeff. Your first question comes to us from Carney. He's asking us if there is a product containing iron, HEDTA, will kill, whatever that is.
It's an iron product herbicide.
Okay, will kill creeping Charlie in the lawn and not injure the grass. And if so, any tips?
Well, absolutely, and there's products, we use one on campus called Fiesta that is a ferrous product, and so it works very well. It does have fairly specific instructions on the application, so it's important to follow those. So as far as watering the grass ahead of time, making sure the grass is in good condition before you do it. But yeah, it's effective, so yeah.
And now, or do we wait a
It's
bit?
it's probably, today was 82, so,
It's
it's
only
a
going
good
to be
day.
95 on Sunday.
Yeah, right. So I would say, actually, especially with Creeping Charlie, we'd want to wait till the second half of August anyway to get a real effective kill.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. So your next one here is unusual life all over the backyard. What is it? How does he get them individually out of all of his shrubs and, the whole garden?
Get some gloves and a good spade and start digging them up. So this is pokeweed, and they've and I know that pokeweed, it's a perennial. It's very attractive. I know some folks really enjoy having it. It's an ornamental plant, but once you get one and you let it go to seed, you're going to have a bunch. And again, it's another one of these kind of poisonous plants that you don't want to have in your yard. So I think we need to get those dug up. I think there's too many to worry about herbicide treatment, and they're too big at this stage anyway. So
Right, exactly. All right. So 2 pictures on the next one. This viewer is in Saunders County. She's seen this in roadside ditches. She likes the contrast and wonders, is this a friend, a foe, and what is it?
I would say it's a friend. So it's Birdsfoot Trefoil. So it's in the pea family, and it usually grows in areas that are relatively low in nitrogen. So a lot of times it's been mixed into forage, so grazing areas. So for livestock, sometimes they'll use it for that. So it's a non-native though, so that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, you don't see it a lot, so I think it's fine.
It's cute.
Yeah, in ditches. That's where you see it.
Yeah.
Roadsides. All right, let's see. Your first 2 are from different viewers, but it's the same plant with maybe different issues. Kyle, your first one is Gretna. These were planted in the fall. They are west side, one row, 3 plants on one end look like this.
Yeah, I think I would need some more information on this. I'm really curious what a lot lower in the plant looks like there. There's the leaves look like there was maybe some stippling, so maybe some of the injuries similar to what Wayne was talking about earlier. But also Phytophthora is another thing that I've really been seeing a lot of right now, and it can lead to pretty serious decline of plants, and the leaves just kind of will shrivel up and not look too great. It's been parts of the state have been too wet.
Okay, your second peony is Fremont. This is a Shirley Temple peony planted this spring. She wants to transplant and wonders, is there any hope?
Yeah, I think there is. This is just a fungal leaf spot, peony red blotch, Cladosporium peony is the scientific name. But if you want to control it, a broad spectrum fungicide, something containing chlorothalonil, should work fairly well on it. Otherwise, if you would just let the leaves dry out a little bit, the symptoms should go away as well.
All right, 2 picks on the next one, Kyle. This is Aurora. One phlox growing great, and then there's this one. She's wondering about lack of air circulation, not enough sun.
There probably is. I mean, I think it's a soil moisture thing, and so I think this is Phytophthora again. That's been too wet. The Phytophthora is a fungal-like organism that will literally swim through saturated soils. So when we have some of these really heavy rain events, we have Phytophthora show up shortly after. Really nothing to do about it this year. Next year, if it's dry there, it shouldn't be a problem.
All right, and one more, and this is a viewer. She was gone for a week. She's got Rudbeckia called Maya. The leaves were turning black. So she's wondering, is this fall to you, or is this guy's on this end?
Well, it could be, but I honestly think that this might be Phytophthora as well. Okay. We've just had some pretty severe rain events, and these soils are saturated. Phytophtheras can infect a plant at any point in their growing life, and so we're seeing a lot of it right now.
All right, we love the rain, but not quite this much all
Exactly.
at once. Okay, let's see. You have one picture. This is Lebanon, Pennsylvania, a former student of ours. And he's wondering what we might think of Parrotia persica as a street tree.
So I think it's a lovely street tree. That's a small to medium-sized deciduous tree. It can be grown like the viewer has as a multi-stem shrub. It's probably better street tree if it has the single stem. But what makes it a nice urban tree is that it's tolerant of clay soils. It is tolerant of air pollution. The other thing that makes it a nice tree for any spot is that it has a lot of four-season interest. Mm-hmm. It's in the witch hazel family, so before the leaves emerge, late winter, early spring, those flowers without petals that have those red stamens appear, and then you get lovely green foliage, and then in the fall, that turns lovely colors. You get good fall color. And then as the viewer can attest, you've got great winter color and texture in those tan, kind of exfoliated splotches.
Yeah, excellent. All right. One picture on the next one, Dana. Mm-hmm. This is a Lincoln viewer.
Yeah.
These yews have been replaced several times in this location, and they die in the first year.
So there's a couple things going on, I think. One is I suspect this is probably a south or a west-facing spot, but what's really at issue is that light-colored brick is probably reflecting heat onto these yews. And in that full sun, a hot spot, I think it's just going to be too hot. The other things that I would probably point out are that it's a little close to the foundation, mm-hmm. and there's a window there, and I might pick another shrub to replace those with. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot of shearing.
Right, and it could be something lies underneath at that spot too.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
There's a lot going on there.
There is. Well, you know, each year millions of trees take root across the Rocky Mountain region. We head to the Nebraska National Forest to visit the Bessey Nursery to discover how seed saving is not only preserving native species, but playing a critical role in reforestation efforts for beyond our state lines. We're here at historic Bessey Nursery talking about one of the most wonderful historic projects and places with Richard Gilbert, who is Nursery Manager.
Yep.
So Richard, what is the mission for Bessey Nursery?
So our mission is to produce high quality seedlings for reforestation, restoration, and conservation purposes. And that includes, we're covering Rocky Mountain region, which covers Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. And then we supply seedlings to all of the plain states, or at least the surrounding states, for conservation purposes.
Why is it important to do this particular work with conservation species?
Yeah, it is extremely important with the conservation species. We're getting out there and getting the proper plant material here in Nebraska, doing habitat restoration and reforestation here in Nebraska. I think a lot of folks know about the spotted tail fire in 2006 up there in Chadron. We produce all of the ponderosa pine seedlings going up there, because a lot of those areas burnt so hot that it cooked all the seed that was in the ground. And we have the backup seed here at Bessey Nursery stored in the Region 2 seed bank. So it's important for those reasons, along with we have the proper genetics for each of these locations. So we're not going to move ponderosa pine seed from Nebraska over to Colorado. We've got a little over 800 different seed lots in the seed bank to be able to meet those demands here in the Rocky Mountain region.
The wonderful thing I think about this kind of a conservation program is to be able to tell future generations, you know, you don't have to get a hybridized something or other. Instead, you can have trees that are from here.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, having your native specific ecotype to your locations is critical. It really is. Those plants are going to do by far the best. They're adapted. They know what's coming for them. And if you have a fire in that area, they're probably adapted to it.
So Richard, a project that you are proudest of?
You know, some of my projects that I've been most proud of, along with all of my nursery staff, has been working on replanting after fires up at Valentine and then Chadron. It's just a wonderful experience to be able to be part of the legacy of Bessey Nursery and a botany professor, Charles E. Bessey, that came up with this. We love growing the blowout penstemon here in Nebraska. We're one of the sole producers and have it shipped out to the Fish and Wildlife Service and also to the Ranger District here. Where do you go wrong with that one? One of the only penstemon that has a wonderful vanilla smell to it. And if folks want to take a sniff, they can stop at the office up here, and we've got plants in bloom right now just outside of the office.
Your heart should sing over a job.
Yeah.
What is it about this place that makes your heart sing?
You know, I really enjoy being a farmer and producing plants. You know, we get to see what we do from start to finish. And that is extremely rewarding, not only for me, but my nursery staff. We all of us love it. And that's why the staff, you can look around here and see all the different plants we have and what we produce for the conservation districts and the U.S. Forest Service. They really take pride in what they do, and all of us absolutely love doing what we do.
This is just wonderful, and Richard, we are so pleased that you were able to share this with us so we can share it for future generations.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From tiny seeds to those towering trees, that work being done at Bessey Nursery is a real reminder that conservation starts at the ground level. We want to say thanks to Richard Gilbert and the U.S. Forest Service team for giving us that behind-the-scenes look at how that thoughtful stewardship today helps forests flourish for generations to come. Plant those trees. All right, so pictures, let's see. Wayne, your first one comes to us from Hancock. What kind of bug would be doing this kind of damage?
That's tomato fruit worm, also known as the corn earworm.
Too late.
Bore in there. Yeah, it's too late by now. Kyle's friends have invaded too.
All right, what about this one from Elsie, Nebraska? This is on a tomatillo. What should she do about it, and will it eat other things in her garden?
Okay, so this is a 3-lined potato beetle. Not to be confused with Colorado potato beetle. They're not normally seen on potatoes. They will also occasionally get on tomatoes and eggplants and peppers, but primarily tomatillas are where you'll see them. Yeah, they'll defoliate it. It's probably something to tap off into a bucket. So you notice how they're aggregated, so it's pretty easy to take care of them quickly with a bucket of soapy water.
Excellent. All right, this is our Humphrey viewer. Honeycrisp apples, lost the entire crop. He did some sprays after green tip, petal fall, fruit set, sprayed the ground, sprayed the trunk, sprayed. This is the result.
Okay.
What does he do next year?
Well, thankfully he provided the product that he used, and so I was able to go and dig into the label. And when it comes to insect control with a neem oil product, it does say the spray interval is every 7 to 10 days. And if those growth stages on the apple tree were more than 7 or 10 days apart, you're missing your window. Also, as I reviewed the label on that, our fruit-boring insect pests are not listed under those that it targets for control. So things like our plum curculio, oriental fruit moth, codling moth, those are not listed. And so when you are doing a fruit tree spray schedule, you have to be very aware of not only when you're applying on growth stage, but also interval between timings of the product. I would also recommend alternating between 2 different active ingredient products so that you're not always relying on the same one over and over.
All right, thanks, Wayne. One picture on this one. This is a Syracuse viewer. Worm eating her developing raspberry fruit.
It's one of the cutworms, and it's really difficult to identify a lot of the cutworms if you can't see the entire top of the caterpillar going down from head to rump. Also, you need to see the side, and then you also need a front shot of the head because there's so many different markings that you have to look for. So best I can do is one of the cutworms and
Pick it off and squish it.
yeah, brick A, brick B, put in between.
Okay, and you
Put
have
bricks
one more
together.
picture actually on her raspberries as well. And you guys decided she probably needs a sample.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one.
For this one, I think it's going to be best to send in a whole plant sample to Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, the insect, the cutworm would not be doing anything like that. I wonder if there's not some, something is seemingly restricting water to those leaf tips. What is causing that? Really
right.
can't tell from the pictures.
Right.
Cool. All right, Jeff, you have a pile of that are kind of the same thing.
Right.
Here. First one comes to us from Alliance. Their lawn does this every summer. Affected areas, turf can come out of it, be pulled up. They don't really water a lot. They do use applications of 4 things during the summer. So you've got that picture, and then you've got, I think, 4 from Ainsworth. So we have Alliance on one side, Ainsworth on the other, and then Grand Island in between. And the Ainsworth is spots on the lawn, front and back. They were watering 3 times a week, a lot of water coming down, a lot of water there. And in Grand Island, then we had yellowing spots in the bluegrass. So are these all the same or all different?
Yeah, right. And so I think, first of all, for probably all of them, you want to start off with, kind of the typical reminders of good management, making sure you're watering properly, making sure that you're checking if you have an automatic system, that you're testing that system and that you're getting good distribution. So we've had that on campus where we have areas that we're getting a strange reaction, and then we do an actual test, do the little cup test with the big cans, and then we realize, we're under or over watering, and then we adjust. So that's the first recommendation. Next, I would say, my thought is this is all dollar spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, well, good.
You're right.
Bang.
I think-
Ding, ding, ding.
I think we're all in agreement on that one.
So I think that, to me, and you can correct me, Kyle, but I would start, what I've been doing is starting with a May application of a fungicide to get on early.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow it up later in June with another application. And then I also want to make sure that our fertility is good. If we're kind of dropping in nitrogen at some point, we're also kicking this fungicide into gear as well.
Yeah, I mean, having that balanced fertility is critical, really, I mean, for any diseases that you have out there. But then the other thing with dollar spots, especially for a lot of just homeowners, and maybe they don't deal with it all the time, that's one of those that it responds very well to a fungicide to a curative fungicide application. And so you can just go to your garden center, get a general fungicide product, spray it on the lawn, and it should come out of it just fine.
Right.
Perfect. All right, Jeff, you have one more picture. This one comes to us from central Nebraska. They found all 3 of these within about a 10 by 10 area, and they're
Cool.
terrified.
Oh, isn't that fun?
And they want to know how to control them.
Well, I would pick them all up. So you want to, that'd be the first thing. Get them all raked up as best you can. And then, we're back on a pre-emergent kind of regime where we're hitting this, fall and spring for a few years, because these are going to be persistent.
All right, excellent. Okay, Kyle, you have 2 pictures on this one. And then 2 more are also hydrangeas. So this one is 3 hydrangeas. They're doing this from the center, plenty of water, sun, and fertilize. So what do we do with
Yeah,
these?
it's, I already talked about some of these soil-borne diseases. We've had heat, we've had wetness. It's been perfect for a lot of these. That's what I think is going on there. So I would probably just prune those out. And really the same with this one here. It's just obviously struggling. It's not doing what you want it to do. I would just probably get rid of it.
All right, and then you have 3 pictures on this next one. This is Omaha Millard area. 2 maples, one on the right is lighter and has the spots on the leaves. So I think we have pictures of the spots too.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a great example. This is iron chlorosis. And so that we have that brighter chartreuse or yellowing of the leaves that have the dark green veins still. When you have severe iron chlorosis, you can even get necrosis, so death of that plant tissue. And that's what's going on here. There are treatments for iron chlorosis in trees, but it's very difficult to do that. So if you can just enjoy having 2 different colored maple trees, that's my suggestion.
All right, thanks, Kyle. All right, Dana, first one, this comes to us from Clarkson. Potting soil being acidic, and is that what caused this?
So this is something we'd call cat facing, and it gets its name from looking like a cat. There's lots of different reasons for that. It can be high nitrogen, aggressive pruning, herbicide injury, temperature, water fluctuations. I don't know exactly what caused this one, but the large fruited and heirloom varieties are especially prone to that.
All right, one picture on the next one. This is a yellow pear tomato, wants to save seeds but has blossom end rot. He's wondering if he saves the seed, will he have blossom end rot on future plants?
So plum tomatoes are especially prone to blossom end rot. The plum and Roma are. And no, it's a physiological disorder. It's not necessarily heritable. So this is an open pollinated tomato. So yes, you can save the seed. I remember in the comment that they said that they thought that they had fixed this by adding milk to water.
Right.
And I just wanted to say, save the milk for
cereal.
For cereal. And then just try consistent watering, moisture on the tomato.
All right.
And eggshells won't work either.
No, nor Epsom salts.
Okay. 3 pictures on the next one. This comes to us from Overland Park, Kansas, and started on her mortgage lifters. She did a follow-up, and it's this, here's the plants, and then this scarring across. I think the third one shows us kind of the scarring on these.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of this, it's pretty neat, but she's got a couple issues going on, and both I think are environmental stressors. So you've got cracking, which are those radial cracks. Sometimes you do see some concentric rings, but there's also that russeting. And the cracking is more about influx of water, plant not able to kind of stretch quite fast enough. The russeting is about high humidity, and in looking at the planting, I think the plants are a little close, so next year do some pruning and space your plants further apart.
All right, and one more for you before we go to break, and that would be a butterfly bush that used to be violet and now it's white.
That's called reversion. So it's reverting to the parent plant, and you can prune that out, or it looks kind of all over the place, so you might just need a new plant.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Dana. Well, summer is really starting to heat up, so let's hear from Gannon Rush from the High Plains Regional Climate Center to see if the heat is going to stick around and get worse.
Thanks, Kim. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. Unfortunately, we do have another round of heat ahead of us. Temperatures on Friday will be in the 80s and 90s, but things will get a little toasty this weekend. On Saturday through Monday, highs will be in the 90s and into the low 100s. The two hot spots seem to be in the southwestern part of the state near McCook and out west in the Panhandle. It's not all doom and gloom, though, as cooler temperatures could return on Wednesday. The rain forecast for this week shows around an inch possible for a good chunk of the state. Storms are possible tonight out west in the Panhandle and in the southeastern part of the state, while another line of storms is possible tomorrow night east of Grand Island. After this, it should be relatively quiet until the middle of next week when rain chances return, particularly out west. And that's your week of weather forecast. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Gannon. We're going to take that short break. Coming up, we have the plants of the week and the lightning round. There's much more Backyard Farmer right after this. Welcome back to Backyard Farmer. Coming up later in the show, we'll see why spraying pesticides in hot weather isn't the best idea. You can still call in those questions to our phone volunteers at 1-800-676-5446. Send us those pictures and emails to byf@unl.edu. And of course, right now it is time for the lightning round. All right, Dana, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, this is a viewer who wants to know whether it is okay to mulch around his vegetables in the garden with very fresh grass clippings with no herbicides or pesticides on them.
Sure.
How deep?
Don't get it too deep because it can get nasty, so give it an inch.
All right, this viewer wants to know how long it will take for the rest of a 90-year-old pin oak stump to disappear. He ground out a lot of it, but there's still left and he wants to plant over the top.
Ask Kyle how long that's going to take. Rake the wood out and maybe add a little topsoil and go to town planting.
All right. This viewer from North Platte wants to know whether surround, kale and clay will help protect the trunks of his trees from sun scald in the winter.
Yeah, it's possible on a thin bark tree. However, you need to reapply anytime that kind of comes off with potentially with snow or any precipitation.
All right. We have a viewer who wonders, is there a zucchini that is supposed to be yellow?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Pieweed also is white. It's not pink. Why?
Nature's wondrous magic.
Okay. All right. Are you ready, Kyle?
I am.
All right. We have a viewer who says her tomato has blight, her plants are dwarf, and her cherry tomatoes are teeny in a raised bed versus in ground. Is that all the result of being in a raised bed?
That is the result of many different things. It depends what blight you have. You can have some soil issues as well. Would need some more information.
All right. A viewer says they have an orange sap on their cucumbers. Is that a disease you're familiar with?
It could be gummosis. So yeah, just extra bacteria. It's not going to do very well.
All right. Those white parasol mushrooms that go This viewer wants to know how toxic they are, and are they toxic to handle with bare skin?
They're not toxic to people at all. You can handle them all you want, but don't eat them.
All right. We have a viewer who wants to know whether baking soda combined with vinegar will help control mushrooms.
Not really, no.
All right. We have another one who says they have mold in the cracks of their heirloom tomatoes that they picked. Are they okay to eat?
I mean, it depends what you're okay with eating. It's not going to harm you at all, but it's just a secondary fungus that is taking advantage of it. You breathe it in all the time anyway. So if I ate tomatoes, I would say yes. I don't eat tomatoes, so no.
Okay. That one doesn't count. All right, Jeff.
You scared everybody.
Okay, Jeff, your first one comes to us from an Omaha viewer whose lawn service retired, but they didn't do any applications this year on their 4-step program or whatever. So their new one, they wonder, should they just go ahead and do all the applications now, or just the one that is due now for their
I
lawn?
would do just the one that we're scheduled for.
All right. The question also from this viewer is what could be applied soon on the lawn mid-August. This is a mixed Kentucky blue and fescue lawn.
Mid-August, you could do a fertilizer with a pre-emergent.
All right. We have another viewer who wonders whether weeds can be sprayed in these little short breaks between hot spells.
I guess very limitedly. You're going to want to be very careful on how you spot spray. You're not going to want to cover the whole lawn with a herbicide.
All right. A DeWitt viewer wants to know when they should apply preen in the fall to prevent weed germination.
Mid-August, the second half of August.
All right. Weeds were spot sprayed in buffalo grass about 2 weeks ago. The weeds died. Will the buffalo grass tiller into those spots without doing any soil work?
Yes, it should. Right.
All
Yeah,
right.
especially with our conditions.
Okay, nice. You ready? Sure.
Yeah, I don't have a choice, do I?
You don't. Okay. Papillion viewer found a little tiny 1/8-inch bug like a weevil showing up in their bathroom. They want to know what and why.
Sounds like strawberry root weevil. They invade every year when it gets hot. They want to cool off.
All right. We have a Lincoln viewer who wants to know whether zebra swallowtails are common in Nebraska.
Not terribly common. We don't have a ton of the host plant. If you want to have them show up, plant the host plant.
Which is?
Aristiculocula, I think. Something like that is the
Pawpaw.
pawpaw. Thank you.
Which is not what you just said.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm trying to
That one doesn't count. Okay, we have a Bradshaw viewer who says he's seeing fewer Japanese beetles and heard there was a heat die-off earlier. Had you heard that?
Nope. I wouldn't put any stake in that at all.
All right. All of a sudden, bagworms, and this viewer put that in caps, have defoliated the top of crabapple in about an hour. Is that really what's going on right now?
They were probably there. They just show up suddenly as they get bigger and eat more.
All right. Nice job for you as well. Who won? Dana and Jeff, it was a tie.
arm
You can
wrestle.
just split the difference and I'll take it.
Yeah, right
we'll
for
send it to
you.
you. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
You guys can fight over there.
Well, and while you're fighting, we are having great success with our All-America selections. And once again, here's Terri to feature one of them in the Backyard Farmer Garden.
This week in the Backyard Farmer Garden, we are continually looking at all of these new All-America Selection plant winners. This one is really nice, and I'm kind of actually shocked that it's still doing pretty well. It's a new snapdragon called Double Shot Yellow Red Heart. So it's a bicolor. It is a seed winner, so you can start this from seed. The double shot doesn't mean that it is a double flower, but it's a double color. So it's really looking nice. The orange bicolor is a stunning hit. It's really has not faded much at all. All of the judges said that it had very lovely blooms in the spring, which I will attest to. We started this in the greenhouse. It's pretty much been blooming since we put it out. A really nice addition to some of those snapdragons that start earlier in the season. Looks fantastic in the ground where we have it. It would look fantastic in some containers, and it will really extend your garden season. And stop by the Backyard Farmer Garden to check it out.
Our garden is really amazing, and the snapdragons are just a small part of all that color, so we hope you'll stop by, come visit. Let's talk about plants of the week, which are not in the Backyard Farmer Garden this year, or this week.
Yeah, so you've got this lovely nodding onion, and you can kind of see this lovely little crookneck. Can you kind of see that there? This is a native that is clump forming, and the pollinators love it. Full sun to light shade. So it's a lovely plant. We've also got this nice foliage plant, this wild begonia, and what's cool is right here. Look at this lovely underside of the leaf, that kind of blood red. That's not necessarily hardy all the time. It's more of a kind of 6B. So you'd want a microclimate, you'd want that to be in shade or part shade to be protected.
All right, thanks, Dana. Good combination here. So as always, we want to give you great announcements of wonderful things going on in the gardening world. We have one today, which is the 2025 Rhizome/Plant Sale, Sunday, August 3rd, 10 to 4 at Lauritsen Gardens in the Botanical Center. And I know that if you go online and look at Lauritsen, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on that. And of course, iris lovers love all those iris sales this time of year. All right, pictures next. One picture on this one, Wayne. This is a honey locust in Omaha. Leaves are dying, ends of the branches are covered with spider webbing, 20-year-old tree.
Well, it's thankfully not spiders. It is mimosa webworm, and they are about 3rd generation right now. So once they're in those tight packed areas, they're not worth spraying. So
All right.
just kind of watch, and just the tree's established, it should be fine.
All right. We have an Omaha viewer who's wondering, is this damage from mites in the top of her coneflowers?
Nope, this is not mites at all. This is Aster yellows transmitted by the Aster leafhopper.
All right, rogue them out. We have a Bellevue viewer who mowed down a patch of iris. Underneath the ground was humming. Got chased by these. She was terrified. What'd she do?
She mowed over a bumblebee nest. Now those are annual nests. They are made new each year and not always in the same spot. So you're not guaranteed to have one there. You just had enough ground litter that they thought it was a good place to make a nest.
All right, one picture on the next one. This is an acreage west of Fremont. Can you please identify this insect? You can see it in the middle there. It was on a manure pile.
There's a whole bunch of them if you look around on this picture. They are bees. They're not a wasp. It's tough to tell which bee species this is, but it is definitely solitary bees.
All right, and one more for you, Wayne, on this round. This is a Lincoln viewer. Lots of these webs in various places. Is this just a bumper year for whatever did this?
And grass spiders, and they can come and go in high and low numbers. So they're out there eating lots of things that would like to eat your plants.
Okay, wonderful. Jeff, she describes these two pictures from Franklin as unknown green grass monsters. What is taking over the earth here?
You know, and I guess initially I was thinking that maybe it was Bermuda grass, looking at the seed head, but it might be like a windmill grass. So either way, I think it's a perennial grass that they're going to want to use a glyphosate product on it.
All right, 3 pictures on the next one, Jeff. This comes to us from Tilden. What is this? He's got this in spots in his yard.
You know, was there another picture with this as well?
Yeah, this one and
so
then
I was
another one.
thinking this was kind of like a nutsedge. I mean, it was a strange looking plant. So, and there's sedgehammer that's out there that is a good product that works well on this.
All right, one pick on this one. This is a viewer that has this small patch of this, pulled it out. He thinks he got it all. He wants to know what it is.
Yeah, it looks like nimblewill, which is a warm season perennial grass, and it will continue to come back. There's products out there with mesotrione in it that does damage to nimblewill. We'll take care of it for them.
All right, and 2 pictures on the next one from Lincoln. 10-year-old fescue lawn is that the same
Yeah, I
thing?
think we're looking at
Yeah.
nimblewool again on this one as well. So it's really common. It sneaks up on you. It's one of those that you don't really see it until things warm up, and then all of a sudden it shows up. But early in the spring, you may not even notice it. So.
Right, yep. All right. Okay, Kyle, one picture on this one. This is a North Bend viewer. You got lots of cucumbers here going up. We'll almost bundle them. Full contact with the soil. The leaves are showing spots, mottling, turning brown. The ones on a trellis are growing better. So that one's North Bend. Then you've got Hastings, what is causing spots on the cucumbers. Looks like a rust. And then you've got Yankton, South Dakota. They tried to buy cucumbers with resistance to multiple viruses. However, once again, they're looking like this. So 3 of them from North Bend, Hastings, and Yankton.
Well, I can tell the Yankton cucumber grower that it's not a virus, so you have that. So I think there's a couple different things that are going on, and I think that the Yankton grower here has alternaria leaf spot on their on it. It's a fungal disease. Typically not a really bad disease. I would probably really just try to avoid doing the overhead watering. Try to water from the base. That should get rid of it. A broad spectrum fungicide would also work. And then the other 2, the Hastings and other one, I think that those are both angular leaf spot, and so that's a bacterial disease. This bacteria is very common in the soil, and so it's not uncommon to have more of it on leaves that touch the soil. Really can't do anything about that. I would remove those leaves, and then again, try to just make sure that we're watering from the base.
All right, 2 pics on the next one. This is on a Iowa viewer. Bought plants from the same grower. They're all kind of looking like this. She's wondering what to do about this.
Yeah, I would actually really like to get a sample of this. This looks like Beet Curly top virus, which is a virus that a lot of people think they have in their tomatoes. I've tested probably 20 of them over the last couple of years and have never actually found this virus. But we have leaves that are curled down, purpling of the veins, pretty similar or pretty common with this virus. It's spread by a beet leafhopper, which eats everything, so just get rid of them.
All right, Syracuse viewer, what do we think? All the broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts have this growth.
That's crown gall. So it's a Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It's in the dirt, and it took advantage of a wound.
Okay, and 2 more for you. It's rotten spot time. This is a Bellevue viewer, Black Beauty zucchini plants, bleached in the middle.
Yeah, I asked you what this was too.
We don't know.
And nobody here seemed to know. So something strange. It could just be some weird genetic mutation, a sunburn. I'm not sure. Would love to see a sample.
All right, excellent. 3 for you on this first one, Dana. Cucumbers are not looking like anything she's grown before. Any idea here? So
you've got also some pictures of the fruit. I think that's just way too much water. Interestingly, those are container grown, so I would just make sure that your containers got good drainage. Otherwise, we've just had a lot of water, and that can cause that. All that water can leach out your nutrients, so make sure that you're applying a water-soluble fertilizer as needed.
All right, 2 pictures here from Albion. What's happening to her late flathead cabbage? The others are fine. She's wondering, is it probably environmental?
So I think it's hard to say, and I'm going to go with environmental. I don't know how much moisture they've had in Albion. I think it's upwards of 10 inches in the last couple of months. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to go with the heat. So it could be any number of issues. I would say maybe send a sample to Kyle. Since your local extension educator has retired.
Okay, and we have 2 pictures more. This is an eggplant growing in a container. This is Lake of the Ozarks, and the flower and the stems keep falling off.
Yeah, so that can often happen in high temperatures. I assume that Lake of the Ozarks is as hot as it is here, and so the plant can just kind of abort those flowers. It can also be a result of poor pollination, and that can cause some of the same issues. So if you're worried about that, you could try some hand pollinating, but I don't think you can do much until wait out the heat.
All right, thanks, Dana. Well, our show is devoted to helping you keep the bad bugs, diseases, and fungi down to a minimum during the growing season. When it gets hot, you do not want to be out there spraying pesticides with a sprayer. So here's Jeff to tell us why.
A frequent question we get on the show is, why can't I spray when the temperature's hot? And one of the main reason is that our herbicides are designed to be used at a temperature range of somewhere between 60 and 80 degrees. Once we get above 85 degrees, it becomes volatile. So that means it evaporates very quickly, unpredictably, uncontrollably. So it's really important to make sure that you read the label of the product that you're using, especially with herbicides, because again, as it becomes volatile, it can travel on a windy day and it may hit a non-target species, causing some problems. But also, even if you're using a herbicide or a fungicide, those labels have a lot of really good information that will tell you what the parameters are to do that application so that you're successful. So it's important to think about that. Make sure that you're looking at the label, making sure you're reading that, following those instructions very carefully. And then also looking at what the conditions will be during that day, what the ultimate high temperature will be during that day.
Nothing is more important than identifying whatever pest you want to control and then reading that label before you do anything. Volatilization and drift are going to do a lot more damage than good, and we're tired of answering those drift questions. All right, 2 pictures on the first one. Actually, it's the same viewer, same plant, different insects, Wayne, and this is on Sorbaria. Little beetle and a black wasp. Are they good and are they bad?
First one is a potter wasp. They collect caterpillars to stock the nest, so they're definitely a good guy. And then spotted cucumber beetle. Don't overwinter here, but they do move up. They can transmit some lovely viruses to some of our garden plants, but they do love pollen to eat.
So we have the good, the bad, and the good and the bad. All right.
And then this next one's going to be pretty ugly.
Yeah, this next picture is, he says, let us know what is in the bucket, because the back and forth on this one with him earlier was, what do I do about beetles?
There's lots of Japanese beetles. I do see a couple of green June beetles tucked away in there too. But yeah, that's a lot of beetles.
Okay. Jeff, 2 pictures on the first one here. This is an invasion of an off-color grass here in Lincoln. Not crabgrass or sedge. What is it?
Well, I actually think it's nutsedge. So the single plant sample there really looks like nutsedge seedling to me. So unfortunately, and the timing's just right. So this is the right time of year, late summer or late June is when it pops up, and all of a sudden you're surprised by nutsedge. So
okay, 2 pictures on the next one that are both yellowing. One's in Utan and one is in Caro.
Yeah, and they both actually look like they're trying to do a good job with their lawns. And so fertilization would be the one thing, again, later in the month. But you might also want to look at something with the soils. I mean, they kind of look like new construction. I wonder if maybe we just have some issues with the soil. So maybe a more complete fertilizer year round.
All right, thanks, Jeff. So Underwood, Iowa is your first one. What is this little beautiful fungi?
It's some sort of baby caprinus mushroom, maybe a baby shaggy mane. When it grows up, it's going to be dripping black stuff on the bottom. Pretty cool.
Okay, Fremont viewer, this is 3 inches wide and 6 inches long. What is it?
This one's even cooler. This is a bleeding tooth mushroom. Yeah, I know. Yeah, isn't that a cool name? Also known as a Hydenellum peckii. But yeah, really cool find.
All right, and 2 more. This is just a hole in a tree and found these, and they just want to show us the picture on the second one of what this cool thing looks like.
It is really pretty. I think that this is some sort of nectaria or a calinectaria, one of those 2 different types of fungi, very common canker diseases. Will lead to the death of that tree.
Wonderful, and we have 1 minute for you, Dana, so this is going to be good. Northern Saunders County. What happened to this hardy ice plant?
Yeah, so they've got the wrong label there, and their other plants are thriving because they like the moisture. This plant likes arid conditions. It's just been overwatered.
All right, and 2 pictures of this. You get the Easter cactus. Looking great, dripping leaves. This is Madrid. It might belong to Kyle, but you got it because his box was full.
I really think that they've got the wrong soil or the potting media in there. I think there could be some issues. It's got those aerial roots kind of popping out. I'd repot that in something that's a little more moisture retentive.
All right. And 2 pictures on the next one. This is Syracuse. Speaking of herbicide
And
drift, this is both her sweet potatoes.
And her okra.
Yes, and her okra. So there's that drift.
Yep.
All right, and don't do that, people. All right, and that unfortunately is all the time we do have for this week's Backyard Farmer. Thanks to everybody who submitted those questions this week, and a big thank you to our panel for another great show. Helping us on the phone tonight, we had Gary Bell, Carol Rustad, and Nebraska Extension educator Terri James. Next time on Backyard Farmer, we'll be headed back to our garden to do some mid-season observation. We'll check out how all of the ornamentals and vegetables are getting along this year. Don't forget to stop by the Backyard Farmer website at byf.unl.edu. Sign up for that monthly newsletter. So good night, good gardening, and we'll see you all next week right here on Backyard Farmer.